Protecting yourself with car insurance. We all know that it's mandatory, but many of you don't realize that the minimum coverage you might have just isn't enough. And joining us right now to enlighten us and educate us more, is Rick Warren, Senior Associate of Friedman, Domiano Smith. Sir, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me down.
Show. All right, minimum coverage in Ohio, 25 grand / 50 grand, whatever that means. Is that sufficient enough? Do you think, in your expert opinion?
No, that's the short answer. What the 25 / 50 means is you're covered $25,000 for causing an accident in which one person is injured, up to $50,000 for causing an accident where two people or more are injured. And if you think about it, I know from my business we see every day automobile accidents where the injuries and the damages resulting from them are extremely high, much, much greater than $25,000 in coverage. And if that's all the coverage you're buying and you do cause an accident where there are severe injuries, you're exposing yourself personally to any judgment above the $25,000 that your insurance protects you for.
First question that comes to my mind is, and I bet you it's, well, if I get more, I can't afford it. All I can afford is the minimum. So, first off, two-part question. What do you think is a sufficient amount, and how does it break down into, is it $10 for $25,000 worth of extra coverage? Is it simple?
It's not that simple. And my short answer in terms of how much coverage you need is something that you need to determine by looking at your own finances and talking to your agent about what you're protecting and what you can afford. I will say that there are some situations where financially some people can only afford the minimum, and I understand that. But I think a lot of people get caught up in this idea that they want to cut corners wherever they can, save their money, and if the state's only making me do $25.50, why not just do that? Those people are the people that really should take a look at what they have and what they stand to lose by keeping minimum coverage. And the second part of your question was the cost. Again, there's no short answer to that, but it's not as expensive as people think. Okay. It's not a one-to-one ratio.
And each insurance company, it's going to be a little bit different. So again, ask your agent.
Ask your agent. You can shop around online, get quotes. But $100,000 in coverage is not 4 times more expensive than $25,000. Okay. Yeah, so it's not a one-to-one increase.
When it comes to uninsured, insured coverage, because unfortunately there still are people out there that are uninsured. So talk about that and the importance of having that type of insurance. Okay.
Well, this type of insurance is, in my mind, equally as important as liability insurance, even though it's not mandated by the state. So you may not have it on your policy. Underinsured, uninsured motorist coverage protects you in the event that an individual causes an accident in which you or your family or your friends in your car are injured, but that driver that hit you is not insured or has very little insurance. What happens in a case where you have underinsured motorist coverage then is your coverage steps in to the place of where that coverage would be, and you protect yourself that way. It's very valuable. This coverage is also very inexpensive. In some cases, it's only a few extra dollars a month.
Literally?
Literally.
Okay.
Well, but you're protecting yourself in a way that is very valuable.
Now, we only have about a minute and a half left. Any other pitfalls, exclusions out there that people might think, oh, I'm covered, but you're really not, or it's too expensive and it really isn't? Sure.
Well, there are a lot of clauses and conditions that are built into insurance policies, so it's important to read them. But for example, there's one that I find most harmful is called an intra-family or family exclusion provision. What this provision works to do is it excludes members of your family from making a claim against you in the event you caused the accident. So, for example, if you're driving with your daughter and her friend and you're taking them to a football game or whatever, you lose control of your car, you slide off the road on some ice, and you cause a collision, and your daughter and her friend are both injured, your daughter's friend can make a claim and will be covered under your policy, but your daughter will not be, even though she was in the same circumstances, has the same serious injuries, but because there's an exclusion in your policy that excludes family members, she can't make a claim.
There's a lot going on here. And is it safe to say, the consumer, what they should do is just ask as many questions as they possibly can, talk to their agent, and their agent should really give them the options and let them decide whether or not they can afford it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the first step. Read your policy, try to figure out what you have, what you need, and talk to an agent about it. And if you don't have an agent, you can shop around online and get quotes for policies. Now, they're not all the same, and you can read them before you sign up. So,
call Friedman, Domiano Smith. How about that? Is that a good plug? 216-621-0070. Go to fdslaw.com. Rick Warren, sir, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me down.
All right, when we come back, we're going to preview